Most TV reviewers and enthusiasts don't agree with me, and they never have. So when I get comments like this, it just is kind of confusing. I've literally always been the trendsetter behind the most honest information. I'll give you an example. In 2017, I was the only one saying that the Sony X900E was not a mid-range TV and in fact was a premium television. Everyone else, because OLEDs were like the technology back then that they were pushing heavy, were saying LG OLED was the end all to be all, and basically all LEDs, you'd have gray blacks and that whole nonsense. So what did I do? I went on a campaign to prove that the Sony X900E had excellent deep black levels. That campaign lasted years, right? To prove my point with earnest. Because I was getting trolled, hella trolled over it, right? I would do comparisons against OLEDs and all that. And I got more of the same from all of those same enthusiasts, right? And then we see a trend happen. Sony gets better with OLED technology. So what do? I tell everybody when I had my Sony A8G Bravia OLED, I was like, Sony's reds are better than LG. LG has a problem with the color red. It looks blood orange. It's not very good. Their upscaling is sharper, better, not as much black crush as LG, like what they had on, like things like the B7 and things like that. What did I get? Pushback, tons of hate. Nobody agrees, right? The trend has constantly happened. Now here we are with Quantum.OLED. I am here telling you Quantum.OLED is the technology, point blank, period. What are they doing? They're over here talking about everything else under the sun. They're not giving Samsung the credit that they deserve. No, absolutely not. They'd rather sooner go run to Sony and say Sony's king because, Sony's king. Never mind the motion issues. Never mind not being able to compete with equal offerings as the other brands and competitors. They don't care. It's like everything I say, they almost have to say the opposite so that I don't have the, I guess, validation they think I need. You see, the thing about a fact is it's independently verifiable. I don't need anyone to agree with me. I don't actually give a fuck if anyone agrees at all. You don't have to agree with the fact. That's why it's called a fact. The fact is Samsung is the one behind that quantum dot technology. The QD OLED line of televisions, every panel in a Sony comes from Samsung. So where are the apologists now, right? The ones that would jump up and down back when LG was making the panels, right, for Sony, saying, oh, all the panels come from LG. Obviously, you go to LG. Okay, we were saying that back then. Why are we not saying that with Samsung? Now the narrative from these same enthusiasts has changed to, well, you just got to go to Sony because they're better at processing and literally everything. Just make them king. They're king for everything. We're not even going to question that. We're not even going to test that claim. We're not going to actually make sure that Sony is what they're saying it is. And that's the part where if you do that, power to you. That's your way of life. You want to make uninformed decisions. I like to ask why, right? I have a very inquisitive mind, right? I like to learn. I like to know what I'm getting myself into. I don't just jump into shit for the sake of jumping into it. And so it's always sad when I see consumers that have been effectively brainwashed by people that are standing to gain commission. None of my videos are about affiliate marketing. I am not an affiliate. I don't sit here and put a link on everything I own and tell you I may earn a small commission. I'm not in it for that. The only way this channel makes money is crowd and self-funding, right? What that looks like is when I make television settings, if you join the membership, the channel makes money. That helps me buy more televisions, do more reviews, and continue forward, right? It's very transparent here. The other guys aren't telling you how they make their money and where everything comes from. It's business. They'll get sponsors one day. They'll get deals on the side. They don't care. Money is money for them. It's a game for them. And hey, if that's how they want to pay off their mortgage, by all means, that's their hustle. You got to respect the hustle, right? But at the end of the day, if you have a guy like me that comes out and tells you maybe the partnership where all of these AV YouTubers sitting inside of Value Electronics telling you about everything Sony being amazing all the time, and then occasionally going to these same shootouts and saying, oh man, I totally back everything Value Electronics said, is maybe a little sus. And by sus, I mean just straight up crooked and cooked. Like, you probably ought to look at that. They can sit there and say, we had 20 judges. If those 20 judges weren't everyday people off the street that like literally had a say alongside pros, so that way it's consumer and it's professional, then you're not doing a real test on what people think. You're getting a circle jerk of 20 of your buddies and getting them to write up a positive review for your sponsor, for your retail establishment, so that you can put that on the box, and then that company then can benefit and gloat that they got an award that, frankly, they just bought you off for. I mean, like, let's call it what it is. Value Electronics is an independent mom and pop shop somewhere up north, right, in these states here, okay? And we're gonna pretend like if a big company like Sony approaches them with a deal, they're gonna turn it down. No, they're not. They're not gonna turn it down. They're gonna sign the deal. They're gonna do what they have to do to make business, to make money, to stay open. It's business. And the fact that people are still not getting the hustle is sad. But like, I don't care which AV YouTubers agree or disagree at this point. Like, I've never cared in the history of my career on YouTube, and I don't now, and it's never going to change because those guys do not know what they are talking about. Most of which are regular dudes that one day during the pandemic got bored, picked up a camera, and decided they're a TV reviewer now. FOMO, Be the Installer being most notable, Tech with KG. Go down the fucking list of all the new guys. I mean, that's what they did. They were fucking bored. They had tech around their house and they started recording it. Which again, there's nothing wrong with being passionate. But being passionate is very different from knowing that thing in and out better than anyone else. And I'm sorry to tell you that they are not those dudes. That's just what it is. So if those dudes disagree with me, I really don't care. That's like a professor in college giving you a theory that he's researched his entire life, and then some kid that comes in off the street, has never done any research in it, maybe dabbled in it here and there, decides he wants to disagree. Nobody is going to care, like, at fucking all. And the thing is, I understand that, like, I am brash and I am bold and I am confident with my opinions. And I'm going to be that way because when you are good at something, you don't sit there and walk on eggshells about being good at what you're good at. I'm not going to sit here and play the, oh, I must be humble because it makes you uncomfortable that I know more than you. If I know more than you and that makes you uncomfortable, go learn what I learned. Go do what I did to get the information. Study. Better yourself. But to sit here and act like I'm not going to tell you in plain text, clear English, exactly how things are, you're out of your mind. I don't walk on eggshells for nobody, bro. And the problem that I have with all of these kinds of comments that come in, you guys actually sit there and believe like any one YouTuber or any YouTuber in general has authority over the space. None of us hold authority over the space. Not our things, not HDTV Test, not Digital Trends, no one YouTuber, nobody. Now, what does this mean? Because we don't hold authority, they form alliances. Because if you have a collective body of people, well, now that holds a little bit more weight because groups always look more influential. Everybody does everything in groups, right? Which is why we see all kinds of little podcasts and all kinds of little shootouts where they all kind of come together collectively and kind of share the same opinions. The smaller guys look up to the larger guys because they're making the most money. So they're not going to bite the hand of a larger influencer because God only knows if they could get into that circle, they're going to make money. All right, like, how slow do you have to be to not be able to figure this out on your own? I don't know. So me, one of the only influencers, I hate that fucking word, by the way, influencers, because technically I tell you what TVs are and you do end up buying them off of the honesty I give you, right? I don't get any commission, which is why I say influencer. But I'm telling you how it is, right? I'm one of the only YouTube personalities out there that does this, that goes against his entire fucking niche because it's corrupt. Doesn't sit here with his hand out and makes the money alongside the rest of them, telling you whatever lie just to get a payday, right? And I'm telling you how the game works as somebody that's in it, bro. I have not only am I in it, I've been in it, right? I've seen how it works. I've seen them lying. I've seen them change their mind on things that they should never have changed their mind on, like data points that they claim they saw in person. And magically it just changed. Like, the amount of things I could go over again and recap for everyone who's maybe new and just are just now entering the TV market would blow your mind. And all the OG guys rock me because they already know the shit that I've shown. I've shown it and I've shown it and I've shown it. But the one thing with time that I've learned about showing all the inconsistencies and all the stuff that other reviewers are doing and that they do on the regular basis, no one actually gives a shit. Like, yeah, they can be dead wrong. And yeah, they can be scamming you, but it's the fact that you had the audacity to speak up. You had the audacity to say something wasn't right. Oh, how dare you? Now we hate you. That's how this shit works. And I've seen that nobody gives a shit, so I let people get fucked over now. I don't give a good damn what your problem is or what you believe in and all that stuff. If you want to go to somebody else and you want to believe their lies, I'm gonna let you. If you come to my channel and I give you some truth and you are one of those people that have independent thought and you research on your own and you then listen to what I say after seeing that what I said was independently verifiable, by all means, I'll rock with you. But I'm not going to sit here chasing ghosts, and I'm not going to be sitting out here trying to defend myself to regular ass fucking people every single day on the most basic shit. Like, we're talking basic ass dudes thinking I need to defend myself, right? Like, I'm not going to defend myself to you. It's like, listen, I come out and I make these kinds of videos where I respond to stuff like this to really clarify my, like, don't give a fuck attitude, because it can be seen as just like straight up cockiness, but it's not. It comes from a place of being just so fucking done with the industry, done with the sellouts, done with all the explanations and the trying to convince people, because I have a genuine heart, right? I hate when people get screwed over. I truly hate that. I want everybody's family to have the best. I really do. I'll treat you like my own when you come to my channel. I'll make sure that I give you all the information to send you on your way, right? And I'll help you out. I mean, like, haven't you found it a little bit like odd that all of these so-called calibrators, they charge over $500 in a lot of cases for something so niche? Most people have never even heard of a TV calibration, right? Never heard of it. These guys jump on the scene. Immediately they want $500 from you. They want wedding photography prices for like something you've never even heard of. And they say, oh, it'll make your TV look so much better. I show up and I'm like, fuck that. Pay $5 and I'll show you something. Every single person, more or less, and don't get me wrong, I'm not flawless. There are people that just, it ain't for them, right? But the vast majority, and we're talking like at least 95% of the people, if last time I looked at my analytics, right, they get on with what I show them through that settings that I offer. Like, everybody more or less understands, like, it's a massive transformation and it didn't cost a whole lot of money to do so. And so, like, I always want to make sure people are taken care of. But the point of this whole thing is, like, if you want to sit there and you want to believe what you want to believe, believe it. But, like, here's the other part of this. Why is it so hard if you go to them to just get what they say and then not watch me? If you have to talk about me that much to that extent, and you have to come onto my channel and then just remind me that nobody is listening to me, well, then you've already lost, because I know that you're watching me because you want to know what I say. You just don't agree with what I'm saying, or it makes you uncomfortable. To which I say that is too fucking bad.